Hi everyone, welcome to Szenan-Balance Live. I'm Szenan-Balance from Szenan-Balance, the Acupuncturist. Now again, we're going to talk about coronavirus, Covid-19. So we just got in 40 bottle of herbs. And within one day, we sold out 38 bottle of herbs of Immunity Tonic. Again, we're going to talk about Immunity Tonic. Well, we haven't got enough for you guys. We sell very cheap and to try to help all people to boost up your immunity. And once you boost up your immunity, and you don't have to worry about virus, you don't have to worry about getting a flu. So don't have to worry about getting cold. You see. So this is some important. If you can't get the herbs from us, you can make it yourself. Let's talk about how you can make it yourself. Okay. Before I talk about how you can make it yourself, and let's share the story. Okay. This called 甘草干姜汤, which is dry ginger and licorice formula. So only two herbs. Okay. So these two herbs, ginger, you eat it every day probably, but we use dry one. Okay. Because dry one is more powerful. Now licorice, yeah, a lot of people have it. You can eat it like as food, licorice. And why using licorice and not sugar? All right, because licorice in Chinese medicine, it can it called 解百毒, release all toxin, 100 of toxin. 100 means all the toxins. It can detox, to help you detox, which means any kind of bacterial or virus that licorice are very good for it. All right, so this is why dry ginger with licorice. Dry ginger are very good for stomach. All right, so let's talk about what is the theory about it and what is the story first. Okay, so when I look at it, how much is the tonic? Is $18. Yeah, and it's 100 doses. So 100 doses if you're an adult, over 12 years old, you just need 1 teaspoon. Okay, a little teaspoon. So 1 dose is 1 teaspoon, and it can last you for over 3 months. So 100 days, basically 100 days. So anyone that below 12 years old just need half teaspoon. We will provide you the yellow teaspoons. Okay. So we don't have any at the moment, so I'm going to teach you how to cook it yourself. Okay. How to cook it. I'll share with you. Okay. I'll show you how you cook it yourself. So we've been using that for 1,000 years. This 甘草干姜汤, dry ginger and licorice formula is recorded in a book that was 2,000 years ago. So 2,000 years ago, we used this to treat, to prevent cold. And until now, we still use it. All right. So here's the real story. Okay. In Wuhan, there's one of the Western hospital. Okay. And the hospital is amazing. They're Western doctor. So the hospital send the doctors and the nurses to learn Chinese medicines. Why send them to learn Chinese medicines? Because every year flu going on in all country, and flu, you're lucky you're not die with it, but flu does kill people. Okay, so because of that, they know that antibiotics not for virus, because 98% of flu, common cold, are caused by virus, not bacterial. Antibiotic only work for bacterial. That is why when you go to doctor, you say, I have a cold. They ask you to go back and have a rest. Drink more water. That's what they tell you. And if anything, if the flu is not going away, it keep going for a few weeks, and then you go to your doctor again, then day 4 they give you antibiotics. Why is that? Because but after weeks and weeks, they think, okay, now you're not getting better, let's guess you have a bacterial as well, so they give you antibiotics for bacterial, not actually for virus. So you have to be very, very clear. That is why you go to the doctor for cold, for flu, they don't give you anything, not even antibiotics. They only give you antibiotics when you go back weeks after. All right. So in this Western hospital, over the years, they treat flu, okay, virus, flu. None of the doctors and nurses suffer from flu. So that's important. None of them attacked by the virus. They're treating a lot of patients, and they help those patients recover. So here's a real case in here that in the 21st of January, they received the first coronavirus patient. Hey, way back then, they didn't know about it. They didn't know about this patient suffer from coronavirus. They just treat it like a normal flu. So they bring down the temperature, and actually they get an X-ray, then they find out that, oh, it actually has something on the lung, in the lung. So they did blood test, and it was sure that it was coronavirus. But anyway, they treated with Chinese herbs and got that patient recover. And more patients got to the hospital, and they only treated with Chinese herbs. Funny, right? Western doctor treat coronavirus patient with Chinese herbs. Then all patients recover. Until now, none of the doctor and nurses suffer from coronavirus. So what did they do different with other hospital? So other hospital, Western hospital, right? They treat coronavirus patient too. They look after them too. They try to help them recover. But in the end, some of the doctors actually suffer from coronavirus. And if you look at the news, some doctor actually die. Some doctor actually die because of coronavirus. So let me ask you a question. Why and what different this Western hospital, what did it do differently with the others? And how come none of the nurses and doctors suffer from coronavirus? That is because they take 甘草干姜汤, which dry ginger licorice formula, every day for years. For years. Of course, they also use moxibustion on the office that they treat patient. Because moxibustion is very good for preventing virus and bacteria. But anyway, they take, so ever since that coronavirus happened and they receive coronavirus patient, they get all doctors and nurses take this formula. It was just whoever treating the doctors and the nurses who are looking after flu patients that need to take this formula. But now they make it for the whole everyone, even that patient out there, and not even a patient that the region, whoever live close to the hospital, and they cook this herb for everyone. All right. So this is a difference, that one hospital, Western doctor, and they do Chinese herbs every day, and they help coronavirus patient fully recover. and none of them suffer from coronavirus. And the other Western doctor, they didn't actually using Chinese herbs, and they actually suffer from coronavirus. And unfortunately, that's very sad that some of them die. Now, what do we learn? To for sure. Now we're talking about a lot of this. Now, virus, there is nothing can kill it. Nothing can kill it. What can kill it? Your own immune system. Your own immune system. Now, talk about own immune system. You need to sleep early, all right? Eat healthy. So what do you mean eat healthy? Vegetarian diet, vegan diet are the most healthy so far. If I'm all right with all my information, like I have seen that it was probably a month or 2 months ago, and one of the scientists in China said, so far none of vegetarians that suffer from coronavirus. I'm not quite sure whether I'm right or wrong here, okay, but I'll check it out later on, okay. But surely vegetarian diet is the best. I want to discuss this even further later on, okay. Why? Okay, it actually um, it makes sense with this formula as well. Now, secondly, wash your hand. Wash your hand often. Okay, you can't just wash your hand over here. No? You have to wash the back of your hand and between your fingers. All right, this is how you should do it. All right, and wear face mask. Don't go out and contact with people. Don't shake hand. Now I don't. Every time my patient come in, I always shake their hand with the new patient. I don't actually shake their hand anymore. All right. So that's something that you need to learn. All right. You need to learn. Really, really learn. Okay. And don't go out if you don't need to. All right. Only go out if you need to. All right. Don't have to go and hang out with friends. You don't need those things. Okay. Okay, let's talk about 甘草干姜汤, how it works. Well, according to Chinese medicine, okay, they we call protection energy, and protection energy is in your lung, and lung control skin in your nose. So if you got the protection energy in your lung, it'll cover all the skin and in your nose, whole body. So very superficial on your skin. So the virus and the bacteria won't attack you. So where did it come from? Actually, the lung function is rely on stomach and spleen, your digest system, right? So if you have a good digest system, then you won't get cold, right? Because the stomach and spleen will support the lung function. Now, a lot of people get cold. If you ask around your friends, your family, any of them, if they get cold throughout the year, you ask them how their bowel motion, they get loose bowel motion, they get bloating, they're allergic to food, and they get acid reflux, they get cold heads and feet. If you're cold all the time. What else? They have no appetite. They probably get dizziness, all this thing. So all those symptoms indicate that stomach and spleen problem, because they have weak stomach and spleen problem. Okay, so dry ginger or fresh ginger are very good for stomach and spleen function, and same as licorice. Stomach and spleen like the taste of sweet, not sugar. Sugar is different sweet, okay? And licorice are very good for nourishing your stomach and spleen. And dry ginger are very good for nourishing the energy we call yang energy of lung as well as stomach and spleen. So once stomach and spleen function are great, it can support the lung, and lung will be good. And when lung functions good, then it will have its protection energy, which is what we call immune system. So our immune system described in Chinese medicine is very, very different with Western medicines. All right. So this formula has been using for 1,000 years, over 2,000 years. And now that hospital just proved that it works. Over the years, none of the doctors and nurses suffer from flu. That's how powerful it is. Now, if you haven't got the dry ginger or licorice at home, you can use fresh ginger. Doesn't work as well, but it's good enough. Just fresh ginger with dates, red dates. Red dates is different. It's good for stomach and spleen and the other organs, but it hasn't got the function like the licorice that can detox toxins. Okay, it can release all the toxin. It hasn't got this function, but it's better than sugar. You can use sugar, okay, but make sure you use good sugar, dark brown sugar or black sugar, okay, not white sugar. White sugar actually helping the bacteria and virus to grow. All right, no white sugar. Remember that. So yeah, how do you cook it up? If you get ginger, it's about this big, okay, of ginger, chop it up and use the great sugar for 1 tablespoon, or use date for 5 of them, and boil water from 300 ml down to 200 ml, and that's 1 cup. That is 1 day's proportion, the potion for you. So if you have, you can go to Chinese supermarket and get licorice and dry ginger. So normally what we suggest is what we prescribe in Chinese services, 10 gram each, dry ginger and licorice. Put in water. You can put it 300 ml and boil it down to 200 ml. Okay, and then put in a half, and it can be 2 days. Right. So each day about 5 gram of 5 ml, which is 5 gram of dry ginger and licorice, and that's good enough. And with our powder, our powder only need 1 teaspoon, because 1 teaspoon of our dry powder is equal 4 to 6 ginger, dry ginger and licorice. Okay, so if you want to order any of the formula, you're welcome to put down your details down there on Facebook, on YouTube as well. Just put down there and we will contact you, or contact us on 07846 7956, 07846 7956. Now next week we will have some more. We'll have 80 bottle. But if you want to pre-book, let us know. It's only $18 for 100 doses, which 100 doses for 100 days for 1 person doses. Okay, 1 person, a bottle can last you for 100 days. All right, stay awesome, and I love you all. I hope you all healthy and get through this coronavirus period, and stay awesome. I love you all. See you. Bye bye.